really was.
He's gonna play it. He's gonna play it. No, don't you dare, bro. Just watch. Just put the react in the bag, bro. Just put the react in the bag. Don't start fucking, bro. Just put the
rhythm game.
Sorry, chat. Okay, well.
A few of them from Gliddens.
I should get back to. Alright, anyways, where were we? Successful stun log, dude. Minus fucking an hour of his stream. Hey, go fuck. Am I doing any damage? Why am I not doing damage? Alright. It's like not even faster to plunge him. Alright. Bro plays rhythm game on keyboard, he's goated? Wait, but when I do it on keyboard, you don't call me goated. What's the matter with that? You want to explain that? You want to explain that? Why am I not goated when I do it? What's the best picks for choosing character cons? What if I tier list it right now, bro? Nah. Well, I don't have 2 favs on this team. Let me change my team though. Team is ass. Do it. But I'm actually gonna have to look up every fucking character's con. Tier list maker Genshin. Deal. Alright, fuck it. Where are they all? There's also the Chronicled banners. Okay, wait. First of all, Chronicled banner, let's be honest. There's 2 fucking standards in here. Not to say they're bad characters, although no comment about Dea, but there's 2 standards. Then there's Sino. Wait, there's Alhaitham, Nilou, Wanderer, and Sino. Yeah, that's like, honestly, I think Nilou's gonna be better with Llama, so it's probably like this. Well, it's probably like this. Lol. Yo, chill! It's probably this. We don't know how good Nilou's gonna be next patch though. I think right now it's like this, but I assume Nilou's getting better. And for reference, Mawika's like here, but it's like this. I don't know where Nilou is yet. Actually, this might not even be Mawika. I think. Where's Veressa? I think Veressa's here. I mean, it honestly might be this. Let's put Veressa away. It's like that. Anyways, we don't know where Nilou's gonna be. But outside of that, let me reset this. That doesn't really matter. No Hytham? Wait, what? He's right here, bro. Oh no, I was talking about the Chronicled, not the Constellations. I was talking about the Chronicled. Nilou's not, right now, she's like gutted by the content, but I assume Llama's gonna help her a lot. So, yeah. Okay, a list of characters with constellations. Okay, so to my understanding, you can choose a constellation for up to 4 of these characters. How good are they? Well, first, let's put a tier for standard characters because you're not going to click these. So there's Diluc. I think there's literally every standard character. So, you. Is there Yuma Glorp Glorp? There's no Yuma Glorp Glorp. There's all the others. Yeah. Is that all? Ka-ching. So these are all standard. You don't want to click them. Okay. Then, dude, there's so fucking many. We need a tier that's like good C1, like decent to good C1, game changing C, or like game play altering C1, or like good early con, and then we need a tier that's like good late con. But I low-key don't know all the C4 and 6s, so I'd have to reread them. Okay, and then I need one more tier where I just literally put everyone. So who's in this? Albedo, Ganyu, Xiao, Hu Tao, Eula, Ayaka, Yoimiya, Kokomi, Klee, Child, Yaimiko, Ayato, Ito, Shenhe, Sino, Nilou, Wanderer, Nilou, Wanderer, Baizhu. This? Okay, we're gonna start by putting Xiao in bad cons. So the thing with Xiao is, Okay, the thing with Xiao is C2, 3, 4 are useless, 5 is bad, 1 is okay, it's nice for high investment, but compared to a current C1, it's terrible. Like, it's okay. It's an extra skill, it's like 50k damage, 60k, that's literally it. C6 is really good if you're fighting 2 enemies or more, but a lot of the times you're not, in which case it does literally nothing. So, I love Xiao. Best favorite character in the game, but cons definitely could use a revamp. So he's in the bad cons. Klee has honestly one of the... Okay, she has one con that's incredible. It's a def shredding constellation, which is really rare. Okay, I think it's her C2, which decreases defense by 23. Is it enough to want to play Klee? No, but C2 is good. C2 Klee is good. It's like a whale con. You can use that, Thrilling Tales, make her a support. The other ones increase her damage, which are, you know, good, but not going to be better than like Malwika. So I know you can only choose one constellation with this, but I think we'll use early con as C1 or 2 because you might already have C1, or you wait 2 years. But yeah, I think Klee does have a good early con. I could do good like C1, and then I'll do like a tier under that's like good C2 maybe. Should it be a separate tier? Like good C2. I don't know if it's like a different tier, but C2 Klee is actually good. It could also just be here. But anyways. It's not the same as C1, that's why. But yeah, so her C2 is good, it's def shred. Nobody has C1 Klee though, so yeah, getting from 1 to 2 might be a little hard. But yeah, if you have C0, and I think maybe in the in the future you could get 2, but not like it's needed, but it would be nice if it was free. Okay, Child, I like Child C1. Now, granted, I haven't been playing Tartaglia all that much recently. There have been some new Hydro characters that are completely broken. Nevalette, Molani, and then all the supports. But if you do play Child, his C1 is nice. Now, in optimized rotations, it ends up not being the biggest deal, but it's a lot comfier to play. It's very flexible. It's cool. It is a good C1. I do think it is a good C1. Yeah, I think it's a good C1. It's more comfort than DPS increase. Let me see if there's calcs done on it, so I'm not just feels crafting, because it's been a while. This is what KQM says. The DPS gain of C1 isn't easily measurable because it's simply quality of life. But in well played in certain encounters, it can be a gain. Yeah, like optimized Child rotations are made to where you don't really need the cooldown reduction because you're spending time on other characters. So it's not like it's ever something you need, and sometimes it's not even a damage increase. I just think the quality of life is really nice for like the average player, but I guess I wouldn't call it good. I'd call it comfy. It's like comfy, you know? At a row below. Comfort con. Like if you actually play Child, it's nice to have. But it's definitely not needed. I guess I should read his other cons. No one cares. That's the Riptide. That's a cooldown reset. Yeah, his cons are kind of comfy con. Yeah. D4 freeze Child. Dude, that's like a 1.1. Okay, Albedo. Now, okay, Albedo has an interesting constellation, which I theorize should have been Xiao's, where I have C1. What the hell? I didn't even know I had C1. C4 Albedo gives you 30% plunge attack damage, whereas C4 Xiao gives you 100% defense. Make it make sense! Outside of that, it's kind of whatever. Damage increased by crystallizing is cool, but 17% on a C6 is genuinely like archaic. Like it's genuinely... Constellations are one of the things that have gotten the most like better. The most better is in English, but you know what I'm saying? Like the biggest increase with future characters and versions. C1 is energy. C2 gives more damage to your burst, which is nice, but like it's really not needed. I think it's, yeah, it's not great. The energy, the only thing I will say is if you are playing Albedo, being able to burst is nice in your best teams because a lot of the times you're going to play him with a carry that's like doing a reaction. Now, obviously that's not true for Geo. If you're playing him with like Navia, then like it does literally nothing. Like you don't need the EM. But when I said best teams, I mean like if you're playing him with like a meta Vapor or something, then the EM is nice. Like you're gonna use his burst. But the cons are not great. You really don't need them. Would it be fair to say bad cons or is that too harsh? I don't think they're good. I really don't think they're good. Okay, Ganyu. Where's Ganyu? C1. Oh, Ganyu. Okay, Ganyu C6. It was. I remember it being absolutely bonkers. And Ganyu did get a lot better. Ganyu is a character that fell off, but then got better with Escoffier and stuff. So she actually has some good teams now. So she's not like, yeah, she's definitely usable. I actually played her. I did some dire onslaughts with Ganyu as my last slot against the turtle to apply cryo, and I ran Fab, but I started with Elegy. And it actually almost worked. I got really close. Well, my build is cooked now, but I did get close. So yeah. C1 reduces cryo res. Wait, that's actually good. That buffs Escoffier's damage too. It also makes her a support. You do have to do a Frostflake arrow, but I think that's good. It's only 15%, but it definitely adds up. C2, whatever, extra skill. Increases damage taken of enemies inside of her burst. And then you get the quick scope. Only 6 seconds? Oh, it is only 6 seconds. Yeah, I guess the uptime's ass. Yeah, I guess the uptime is ass. It's... okay, I guess it mostly just helps an on-field Ganyu, but for on-field Ganyu, it'll also buff your Escoffier. It doesn't make her better as a support. I think that's wrong to say, because the uptime is so bad. I think it'll only matter for a DPS Ganyu. And then it helps her and her team. The 50% res shred is nice, but I guess I'm gonna... okay, I hate it more now. If you are playing her optimal team, you're running Escoffier. Or you're running an Anemo character, even if you don't have Escoffier. What does that mean? It means you have Res Shred. If you have Res Shred, let's say 55, getting another 15% ends up oftentimes being very, very minimal, unless when you're fighting has like 70 res. It's usually not the biggest deal to get a little bit more when you already have a lot, because the first like 10-ish% matters a lot more. So I don't think your C1's that great. C2 is nice if you have C6 because it lets you quickscope more. Yeah, I guess if you don't have a Escoffier and you're playing Burn Ganyu or Burn Melt and you're not running an Anemo character, then C1's Res Shred becomes valuable. So it's like it can be good in like a niche team. If not, I think it's her late con that's pretty good. Where the fuck does that rank her? Do I need a new tier just for Ganyu, bro? Is it good late con? Might be good late con. Okay, I think it's a decent C1. Like, I think it's decent. The Res Shred is nice, and it also buffs your other cryo characters. It's more nice if you don't have a Res Shredder and helps melt teams. And in your freeze teams, the cryo res helps, but you probably already have a lot of Res Shred anyways. It also does give you energy, which is, you know, cool. I think it's decent. I think it's decent. But I don't like decent being that high up. But like, bro, everyone has their own tier. All right, Hu Tao, good C1. Hey, finally! Wait, what this? Wait, let me read up before we get to... Hey, shout out KQM. Guys, there's a quality of life, decreasing ER. I mean, yeah, you're probably triple cryo anyways, but sure. Cryo res shred is valuable. Okay, that's like NPC commentary. But like, I agree. Honestly... I do think she has decent late cons because C4 is kind of backloaded because you need to burst and then over time it increases the damage, but it can be up to 25% and it's damage taken. And then C6 makes her a lot stronger. So I do actually like this helps support also DPS, and then this helps DPS, and then C1 is decent. I actually think it's like, I think her late cons are pretty good and her C1 is decent. What the fuck do I do for that? I think her cons aren't bad. I think her C4 is pretty good, her C6 is pretty good, and her C1 is decent. So I actually don't think her cons are bad. Like, okay, I'll figure out the tiers later, but let's just do like a decent cons overall. C2 is bad unless you have C6. I think her cons are decent, like decent cons. I should change the color code. Bad cons, comfy con, decent cons. Late con, I'll make like blue. Good C2, I'll make like this. All right. I think they're decent. Stop making a tier for every character. Bro, there's nuance, man. I'll fix it later. Hu Tao, actually good C1. Finally. Now, the only nuance I will say is that for her plunge team with Shen Yun, who I know is a relatively unpopular character in the sense that not that many people have her, in that team, you do a jump cancel and not a dash cancel. Okay? So I will say that. However, for every other team, Her C1 is very much comfortable and life-changing. Dash canceling is more DPS than jump canceling. It's also just convenient. You don't lose stamina when you charge attack. It usually ends up being more damage. But now it depends a bit more because there's some teams that don't need it or that can straight up won't use it, like Shen Yun. But for the most part, this is like one of the OG really good C1s. So it's good. But I also think anyone who's still playing Hu Tao in 2025 probably has C1. But yeah, it is. We'll see. C2 is Blood Blossom damage. Okay. C4 is the crit rate buff, and then C6 is front-loaded burst. Her cons are actually not bad overall, but C1's the best one by far. Like, I don't even think they're not bad, actually. This kind of doesn't matter. I mean, what is this? I guess this is, how much does this end up being? Oh, wait, let me see. I actually don't know how much of an increase that is. It doesn't feel like it's insane. It feels like it's bad, actually. Their ass. KQM says 7%. Okay, they are ass. I got one guide. C2. Bro's playing safe? No, I'm just trying not to be wrong. I'm just making sure. Where's the con? 7% damage increase from C2. Wait, nah, bro. This character's okay. Her C1 is good. The rest is ass. I'm sorry. I'll make a new tier if someone has good cons all around, but C1 is basically her only con. C2 is like okay. It's not even okay. It's like marginal. I guess it'll help with like AoE maybe. Crit rate buff could be good. You have to defeat an enemy though. So that's not the case for like any of the current endgame. And then C6 gives you front-loaded burst, but it like maxes your crit rate, so it's kind of hard to like make it actually work. But it can. But yeah, C1's good. Eula. Oh, hell no. Okay, let's skip Eula for now. Ayaka. Okay, Ayaka to my... no, I'll do Eula. I'll do Eula. Sorry, Eula. Eula has some cons. Now, the problem with Eula's cons aren't what they are. It's that she's physical. Now, to my knowledge, Eula does get a lot better with cons, but a lot better of mediocre is not necessarily good. Hell no. There's like no sheets on Eula. Anyways, let me read them again. Physical damage increased by 30% every time Ice Tide Vortex stacks are consumed. Stack will increase the duration, so 30% physical damage. Decrease the cooldown to be the same as press for hold. I mean, no one cares. 3 burst levels is nice. Damage against low HP enemies, which is like okay. And then this you spam stacks basically, but it's only a 50% chance. So it's kind of RNG. I mean, they're okay. Her first, okay, C1 giving you 30% physical damage bonus is not bad. She's not like obviously as a character, she's not amazing, but the physical damage bonus is okay. Like 30% physical damage bonus is okay. And then C3 and 4, like, I mean, I guess the rest is also just like okay. Like C6 is nice for a huge burst. C3 is decent. C2 is, I don't think it's good. It's like okay. She's not the worst character. I don't think she is. She's also hot, and she might get buffed with Lunar Conduct. True. Let's see. C2 is a game changer? No, I disagree. There's no way it's a game changer. You get an extra hold skill. Whoa. Let's see. C2. Generally niche and not worth modifying combos for. I think it's, yeah. C1 and 6 are good. C1 is like decent. C6 is good. I think that's it. So, I should go with like decent C1. Although, I mean, yeah. All right. Ayaka. Yay, Ayaka. Woo. Ayaka, another character that got better. So if you like her more than Skirk, she's pretty good. Especially if you have a Escoffier. She became a good unit. Ignore my build. C1 is that her skill? All right, C1 is complete garbage. I do not care what anyone says. You get an extra skill. Garbage! But C2 is actually pretty good. You get more like the 2 little mini bursts. So C2 is good. C1 is garbage. C2 is good. C3 is talent levels, which is nice. C4 is a def shred, which is also actually really good. And then 6 is another front-loaded piece of damage. C1 is more energy, but like, if you're... Dude, it's such an antiquated constellation. Like, a little bit of energy is like... okay, but... It's like, what, 3 substats you're saving? 4? Like, you don't need much ER in her anyway. C2 is good. C4 is good. C6 is good. So she has good cons except C1. And C4 is actually pretty insane. Like, def shredding for 6 seconds by your burst not only will buff your burst, it'll buff your Farina, it'll buff your Scoffy, it'll buff your whoever your last slot is in that team. I guess Shenhe's not doing damage, but C1 doesn't get you more skills per rotation. It does nothing. Yeah, that actually checks out. Yeah, true. Yo, C1 is garbage. C2 is good though. C4 is really good. And C6 is nice. So yeah, good cons overall, but bad C1. Good cons, terrible C1. Yo, no way everyone has a unique tier, bro. What? Okay, this isn't a tier list. This is me talking about the characters individually. It's not a tier list. It's not a tier list. It's not a tier list. Tier list is a bad format for this. Yes, I'm just like talking about the characters. Okay, Yoimiya. All right, let's fries in the bag, Yoimiya. Fries in the bag. All right, Yoimiya. C1 gives her... It makes her burst last longer, I think. Wait, yes. Makes her burst last longer and gives you 20% attack. That's honestly okay. A burst uptime is kind of like it's. I mean, it's okay, bro. 20% attack. I mean, it's not great, but it's okay because the burst uptime sucks usually. Although you don't really play her for her burst, and then also, oh, you have to defeat an opponent to get it. Oh, never mind. This sucks. Okay. Yeah, this sucks. I didn't know you have to defeat an opponent. Okay, it's only okay if there's a lot of enemies, but usually. Yoimiya's played for like bosses, and all the endgame right now is bosses, and you don't need to burst on Yoimiya, and oftentimes you just don't. And you have to defeat the enemy during the burst. Never mind, this C1 sucks. This C1 sucks. This C1 is ass. C2 is good though. 25% power damage bonus. I mean, that's nice. Is it that much for a C2? No. C2 nowadays would be much more than... It wouldn't just be a 25% power damage bonus. It would be like a 25% increase to your overall damage. But it's okay. Like, it's damage bonus, right? It's okay. It's not good. And you might already have a lot of power damage bonus. I guess you won't have that much, but it's... Yeah. It's not bad. 3 and 5 are talent levels, which is like, okay. Well, only the 3 is okay. You get a skill cooldown decrease on C4, and then C6 gives you a 50% chance of another arrow. And they knew to keep it 50% because obviously firing 2 arrows 100% of the time would just be too strong, given Yoimiya's meta power level. Yo, this is depressing. This is actually depressing. Is she just in bad cons? She might just be in bad cons, bro. Let me like make sure I'm not misinforming here, but this looks terrible. Now, C2 is decent, but it's only 25% power damage bonus. So C6 ruins melt. Ah, hell nah. Underwhelming constellation. Largest DPS increase aside from her C6. Small quality of life. 20 to 30% DPS increase, but it can mess up vaporize, leading to 12 to 15% instead. Hey, I mean, that makes sense. It can mess up your reactions, but it's still worth the damage increase. But like 15 to 20 to 30% DPS increase for a C6 is like not enough, especially when usually, like especially now, it's a cumulative increase with like every upgrade. Her cons aren't great. C2 is okay. Like, I don't think it's completely useless. But overall, it's bad. Yeah, overall, it's bad. Yeah. I would say if you have C1 Yoimiya, you could get C2. And if you have C5, you can get C6. That's basically it. Low-key, Xiao's con. At least Xiao's C6. Well, Xiao's C1 isn't like good. Xiao's C1 is better than Yoimiya C1, but Xiao's C2 is ass. C3 is worse than you think. Honestly, yeah. I guess that's true. It's really just her normal attack talent levels that like matter. Yeah, so C3 and C5 are bad too. Yeah, her cons suck. Her cons suck. Like C2 is okay. And 6. Kokomi! Woo! I love Kokomi! I'm a Kokomi fan. I love fish. Alright. Okay, here's the thing with Kokomi. I think Kokomi is a solid character at being a support. She has Millith. or Deepwood, and she can even be a bloomer in a Nilou bloom team. She has 3 roles that make her a decent character, and while we've seen a lot more characters that can do those things, everything she accomplishes at like its max value, and even as an on-fielder, right? You can usually get at C0 with Thrilling Tales or an EM weapon if you're blooming. Okay, so you don't need her sig and you don't need cons. What her cons does is make her better as an on-field. And it's not worth it. It's not. Now, don't get me wrong. I like on-field Kokomi, and it works. You apply some Hydro. You can play her in Taser, and even with like Escoffier. And these cons are pretty good for that. However, as like a support, you don't want her cons. As an on-fielder, I guess we can look at that. Extra hit, 30% of her max HP as Hydro. The final normal attack of a combo. Healing bonus, 40% Hydro damage bonus. It's honestly fine. The one thing I'd say is C1 helps because you get an extra hit of Hydro app. And in a lot of her teams, she's not the, even if she's, let's say you're on-fielding her, she's not the one doing all of your damage. Increasing your damage, which is not the biggest deal, is not a big deal. Like a bit more damage to a bit of damage isn't a lot. But adding an extra hit of Hydro is nice. You might get an extra lunar charge, you might get an extra something. So it's not bad. I think C1 is okay. The rest is not needed. Or and even C1 isn't needed. I would probably put this in like decent. It's decent. It's a decent C1 and the rest is bad. And even her C1 is not needed as on field. So again, I think tier list is a bad format. So we're going to do 1 per character. Fuck it. Decent C1, but only for on field. Off field cons don't do anything and are trash and are bad. So that's, yeah. I think it's a decent C1 for on field Hydro applying Kokomi. But overall, you don't need cons on her at all. Maybe I'll call Zaj after. We'll see his opinion on it. It's not decent, bro. It's shit. I mean, like, I guess it doesn't really matter. I mean, no, I don't think it's shit. I mean, maybe it is. 30% of her max HP has Hydro damage. It's like an extra, yeah. It's like an extra, what, 4 normal attacks? No, wait, it's 8% each. So 3 normal attacks every N5. Or how many normals does Kokomi have? Only 3. Wait, every N3. I actually think it's okay. I don't think it's worth it ever. Like, I don't think it's worth getting because you're usually playing her as an on-field. But as an on-fielder for Hydro, I think it's okay. Like, I'll write like mediocre. Like, it's not worth getting, but if you're on-fielding her, it's okay. The Hydro is nice. You get 1 every 3rd normal attack, which ends up being a lot. Like, you're doing N3s a decent amount. Anyways, Yai Miko. Oh god. All right. C1 gives you energy. C2 gives you a 4th pillar and increases the range. These are, I mean, they're like okay. C2. What is C4? Electro damage bonus of all party members is increased by 20%. Wait, that's actually not bad. Then C6 makes her shred death with her skill. Okay, C1 is not great. C2 is decent. C4 is decent. And then C6 is C6. I think C2 is pretty good. Range increase, I'm sure, matters. And then the damage increase matters. Like, you get 4. Oh, it's level 4, not 4 pillars. But yeah, level 4. I think it mattered. Like, I think it's pretty good. And then electro damage bonus, if you're playing a full electro team, 20% times 3-ish will add up. But I guess it depends on your team. Maybe it's only times 2. And it doesn't really matter, but that's still 40. Yeah, her cons are okay, but C1 isn't great. Also, I guess C1 helps if you're like on field and you're not playing Raiden. If you're on fielding, yeah, you don't need it. If you're playing Raiden, you probably don't need it. Maybe if you have 0 ER. But in like a lot of her support teams, I guess C1, it'll let you burst every rotation without needing like 50 ER or whatever. And then C2 is just pretty good. Honestly, I think her cons are decent. I think Yai's cons are decent. I'm gonna put her in decent cons. I'm putting her in decent cons. You don't need to. Yeah, I guess you don't want to burst on her as a support. That's fair. But you do if you get, like, this ends up being good if you have, like, oh, you don't even need to burst for that, actually. It's literally just if you have, wait, you actually never need to burst. Yeah, you don't even need to burst on her, actually. Okay, never mind. I'm putting it at, like... Fuck, bro. Like, mediocre C... No, but, like, it's, like, good cons, mediocre C1. But Ayaka's C1 is terrible. Does that make sense? Hers is, like, not good, but not completely useless. It's energy. Like, a lot of optimal teams, you won't have to burst with her, or even you might be on field with her. In both cases, the energy is not needed. But sometimes... having more energy equal you can burst if you have downtime, which is nice. But for the most part, it's just her other cons. Like 2, 4, and 6 are the actual cons. And 3, I guess. 3 also buffs your skill. So I'll put it there. All right, Ayato. What the fuck are Ayato's cons? All right. Wait, Ayato gains 50% max HP. Is this a fucking joke? 15% attack speed. 1.11 max HP per stack damage bonus. Thank you. This looks ass. Let me see if there's like damage numbers. This shit looks terrible. 6%. 12. Wait, C3 is actually good. Okay, well, I mean, I guess 2 is better than I thought, but it's still not good. 1 and 2 are very not great. They're like, okay. Well, okay, 1 is bad. 1 is just bad. And then 2 is minimal. And then 3 is actually decent. But it's, I mean, is it even decent when Ayato doesn't do that much damage? Like, he's just there to, like, apply a bunch of Hydro. So it's not great. C6 is the only thing that gives him a lot of damage that you can potentially vape. I actually think he has pretty bad cons overall. Like, I think Xiao's cons are arguably... well, maybe not better, but C6 is better. Yeah, you're also increasing damage when your starting point is really low. So I don't think his cons are great. Even when you're playing him optimally, like you're just applying a ton of your element. This is inconsistent. This is better than I thought, but it's still like 10 to 15% personal damage, which is like okay, but it's not really okay because you'd be better off getting a con on like anyone else. And then C3 is his best one that's not C6, and C6 is okay. It's... I mean... if it's like free, okay, maybe I shouldn't put this in like a tier list because like if it's like a free con and you have no one else to choose, I get it, but yeah, it's just not like great. Okay, Ito. Wait, Ito actually has something. Ito actually has something, bro. Ito C1, you get more stacks passively. Ito C2 is the energy one. C4 is 20% def and attack. C6 is crit damage and your burst never ends. Well, your combo string never ends. Wait, low-key, these are not good though. It's kind of ass. I mean, wait, C6 is good. The rest seems kind of ass. Well, actually, wait, is it? Okay, no, energy on Ito is valuable. Okay, energy on Ito is valuable. My Ito is perma. All right, wrong build. My Ito permanently has to run like 40 ER. So C2 giving energy is actually pretty nice. C1 I'm unsure of. Is this good? I need help on this one. I need to ask a teacher. I'm actually unsure. C1 front loads his damage. Easier to perform and slightly more damage than C1 combos. Okay, so C1 is like comfy. The damage increase does not look to be big though. C2 gives you a bunch of energy, which is nice. But I would argue it's also comfort. So maybe he goes in the comfy cons tier with child. However, C6 is genuinely good. Like, it's genuinely, you know, pretty good for him. Like, it's 70 crit damage, and then you also stay in your combo for a lot longer. Oh, I think his cons are like comfort and then a decent C6. Comfy, con, strong, C6. All right, new tier, baby. Okay, I don't recommend getting C6 Ito in big 2025 because it's like, you know, you'd rather get any other DPS, but you know, if you're there. Okay, Shenhe. Shenhe actually has her C1 gives you another skill which ends up being nice. It's actually very comfy, more energy, more like quills. C1 is pretty nice. Unless I'm mistaken, you could also tap and hold, which can help if you're playing like some bullshit. C2 gives you cryo crit damage, which is nice for your whole team. C3 will buff your skill. C4, I don't actually know what this does. Just damage for Shenhe. Okay, C4 looks bad. This gives you unlimited quills on normal and charge attack. Yeah, I think her cons are alright. C1 is overrated. Sure, but also the selection we have is kind of a lot of bad cons. So I think even if it's not as good as people think, it's still fine. It's nice. Like, it's more energy, can be more quills if you're like quick swap E. And then C6 is nice for auto attacking. And C2 is cryo crit rate. Oh, crit damage, sorry. 50% cryo crit damage. And it makes your burst last longer too, which is actually nice because your burst only lasts... Actually, no, it's already 12 seconds. You don't really need more uptime because it's not like you're DPSing for that long. But I guess it adds up. It'll make a Escoffier do more damage. None of these cons are better than cons on like an Escoffier, but they're okay. I actually think they're okay. Her cons are decent. C1 is okay. Her cons are decent. Also, Shenna has a better character. Shenna is not someone that I think has a lot of new pull value. Like, if you don't have her, there are a lot of other characters that have higher pull value. However, if you have her, selecting a con that's like free from a selection of characters that aren't as relevant anymore, I think could be a good idea if you play cryo a lot. Like, I would choose C1 Shenhe for my account because I might as well have it. I also like when I wasn't playing C1, but I was helping Jake play C1, and it was nice to be able to tap E and hold E to buff your like your supports, your normal attacker, which is like Risley or Skirk, and also your burst and skill damage from your like Escoffier and Farina. So well, I guess Escoffier. Yeah. Or you could, I guess with C1 you could also do more hybrid stuff. Like, you could hold E, Skirk burst, tap E, and Skirk normals. But yeah, I think they're decent. I think their cons are actually decent. Why am I doing this? I don't know. Sino! Right? Okay. Can I say something? Can I say something about Sino? 50% electro damage bonus on a C2 is actually decent, okay? Is Sino the strongest unit? No. And when he is, I will say, it's a lot of times you're maybe hyper blooming, and honestly, maybe in the future you might be lunar charging. And that doesn't get buffed by electro damage bonus. But Sino does. 50% electro damage bonus is decent as a C2. C1 gives you attack speed, which can lead to more combos. C4 is energy, and C6 is damage. It seems okay. Let me look this up. Yeah. I think C2 is like his best. I mean, C2 is 50% electro damage bonus. C2 is good. C1 is more combos, more normal attacks, because you have higher attack speed. You can get more skills off. If you have Thundering Fury, you can get even more. If you get Thundering Fury, you can get more skills off. If you don't, you can just get more normal attacks. So C1 is okay. C2 I think is good. 3, 4, and 5 we don't talk about. Although I guess 3 is like, the talent levels aren't bad, right? But we still don't talk about them. And then 6 is like okay. Like what, 15%? Yeah, 1 and 2 are okay. Mainly 2. I'll put it in good C2. But it's not as good as Klee C2, but good for himself. I don't know if I would call this C1 good. I think it's good if you have TF. Let me see. Are there numbers? No. You know what you're recommending is C2? I'm not recommending pulling for it, but if you're using them as a main DPS, 50% electro damage bonus is like decent. Like, it's a good amount of damage. It doesn't buff your reactions though. Well, it does if you're aggravating, but it doesn't buff like Hyper Bloom. But I guess C1 also is comfy. Maybe it ends up being in the comfy con. Maybe it's like, all right, new tier. Comfy C1, solid C2 for DPS, okay C6. There you go. That's my assessment of Sino cons. Nilou? I think Nilou has some stuff. Where's Nilou, bro? Oh, wait. It makes her a main DPS. I forgot. But C2 is good. Wait, C2 is great. Wait, C2 is incredible. 35% Hydro Res Tread, 35% Dendro Res Tread. Yeah, C2 is good. Good C2. And then C6 makes her a main DPS. C1's underrated. What, longer duration on her skill? Is that what that is? Yeah, it gives her 100% uptime on her skill, which is, you know, honestly nice. 100% uptime on the skill. Yeah, C2 is incredible. C1 is okay. Not good, but better than people think. I mean, you're basically, what does it do? It means you get more blooms as you're setting up your next rotation. Oh. Yeah, C1 is okay. C2 is good. Really good. Hydra res can be valuable as well if you're playing a Hydra damage dealer. Yeah, I think this is going to be good, especially if Lunar Bloom is a thing. If you have Nilou or are planning to play her with it, then getting a con or two, especially if you can get two. I don't know how this works exactly though. Seems appealing. Now, good C2, usable C1. Okay, Wanderer. C1 gives attack speed and an additional 25% attack as damage from his skills arrows. Okay, C2. Oh yeah, C2 makes his burst a pretty decent nuke. C4 gives him an extra buff. And then C6 makes him C6. I don't remember what damage increase this is. Do I say it in my guide? Or do I just look up? I forget how much this is. I know it's decent. Like, this burst being a nuke is nice. It makes it worth using every rotation. C1 is a nice personal increase. But I'm not sure by how much. Let me see. Shout out KQM. 6 to 11% C1. 15 to roughly 15 C2. And then C6 is C6. Yeah. I mean, they're both decent. 10% C1-ish. 15% C2-ish. It's okay. Also, I will say, a burst, making your burst useful is better than it looks because it's more front-loaded damage. So it can save you from doing a whole other rotation. So I think C2 is a bit better than what it would be in like just the math of it. Yeah, so C1 and C2 are decent. All right, new tier, baby. Decent C1 and 2. Decent C1 and better C2. Okay overall. Okay overall if you play Scar. All right, let's put this higher. Okay. The tiers aren't ordered, bro. All right. Last but not least, Baizhu. I think I remember Baiju's C2 being decent, but I forget, so let's go look. Baizhu. So C1 gives him another skill charge, which is nice for like emergency healing or just in general, like extra charge on DPS characters doesn't matter as much because in your rotation, you're using it nonstop, so you never let it build up. But for a support, you'll get the extra one as you're not on field with him. Does an extra skill really matter? But, you know, it's really good AoE healing. It's nice for co-op. It's nice for comfort. It's a comfy con. C2? Oh, wait, this isn't a buff. It's literally just healing and damage. Wait, C4 is his best one. Okay, it's comfy cons. Like, yeah, the C1 will make you not need as much ER, and Baizhu needs a lot of ER. But it's not like Baiju's stats are like that valuable. Okay, ignore. I don't know why my builds are so cooked today. Don't be mad at me. But it's not like you value min-maxing all of your stats that much outside of literally just like getting enough HP for your passive, which does matter. It can be a bit hard. I mean, okay, energy matters for Baizhu. Baizhu needs a lot of ER generally, especially if you don't have his signature. So C1 comfort is nice. C2 gives him, yeah, I guess this is also skill application, so you can go Millith, but you're probably just going Deepwood anyways. C1 is comfy. I think this is a comfort cons type of guy. Comfy cons. C4 is 80 EM, which is not good for a C4, but it's 80 EM to your whole team, so it's like okay. Drink water. Ocean wave emoji. And I think C6 is just whatever. This isn't a tier list. This is me reviewing the characters' cons if you're wondering. Wait, we're done. Okay, let me order it now. Let's talk. let me 1 second. But he's in comfy. Now rank standard. Honestly, isn't it just him that has good cons? Good for standard. Isn't it just T? Dea C6 makes her become like a C0.5 Hu Tao. In C4 is okay. Okay, I'll talk about the standard ones, but I won't put them in different tiers. Diluc cons are an insult. Like, they're a little bit of damage increase. Yeah, like C1 is okay. Mona C1 is, so it's bugged for freeze, so it would be good, but it doesn't work for freeze. It's nice for like lunar charge. Genuinely, C1 Mona for lunar charge is decent, and then C4 gives you crit rate. So Mona, especially C4, and I guess C1, decent. Although C1's bugged for freeze. Gina gives you a Nemo damage bonus or a res shred. Fuck is Gene, bro? What the hell? They got 40% res shred, a Nemo, which is a hard element to shred. Actually pretty good. So if you play an Nemo carry, Gene C4 becomes good. Although like Shao already has a really strict team, but Gene becomes an option. Kaching cons are not great. Chi-Chi cons don't even talk to me. And then Dea cons make her a more viable DPS. They're not needed for her as a support. But C2 gives you better uptime on your skill. And then, which is nice for a support. Although I run her on sack. With my Kadich, and it's good enough. Getting all the way to C6 makes her like a Hu Tao, which is decent. And yeah, C1 is big for her personal damage. Dea cons do make her a much better carry if you care about that. Not worth getting because she's a standard character, but if you love Dea, and I don't blame you because like look at her, and if you think they did her kit dirty, which I do, then her cons help with that. But as a support, she can be a good character just on sack and a supportive set, so you don't actually need anything. Yeah, honestly, I'll put that there too. Or well, Dea's not as good of a character as Big T. Big T actually is a good DPS. Like, you know, he's a solid DPS. Especially for standard, and then his cons make him better. Crit rate, dendro damage bonus, and then fucking more stuff, more damage. Like, he's actually good, you know, good for a standard character. All right, there you go. TLDR, Hu Tao, the real winner. That was fun. Where's Zaj?
Oh my god.
I was watching the art. Zaj said, Alhaitham cons are useless. Is this true? Yeah. Well, EM is nice. 200 EM, I don't think that's useless. That was a little bit of rage bait. 30% dendro damage bonus. It's like okay, not great. Then C6 is C6. I mean, they're not amazing. Like, it's not worth it. But I guess we've looked at so much garbage that now I'm looking at something okay and I think it's good. But 200 EM for a C2 is actually not great. It's just like, honestly, a lot of the cons that are here are just like bad. So looking at something that's like otherwise bad looks good. Does that make sense? 200 EM is not bad. I don't think 200 EM is bad. The only thing is you'd rather get like a team-wide better increase, right? With your primo gems. Like Farina, Nahida, whatever. And then the new characters, I think the main power creep isn't even characters, it's constellations. Like, if you pull cons, the new ones are so much fucking better than the old ones. Like, it's not even comparable. So yeah. There you go. Skara cons are better than Hu Tao? No. Not C1. Overall, maybe. Hu Tao's other cons suck. Other cons are mid. Wander's constellations overall are pretty good though. But Hu Tao, for something like this, Hu Tao is the best. Why? Because you only get one con per character. So realistically, you're going from C0 to C1. But yeah, dude, Clorin's charge attack is so cool. I wish we could like use it. What if I play Pyro Clorint like with C6 Bennett? I just like auto attack. Is he gonna post the tier list? You think I should just like export this whole image and just post it? Yeah, right. Like, just actually C6 can be good though, because Shao and Ayato's C6s can be good with a good stopping point, with a good specific con. There you go.
Faced many opponents in my duels. Most of them I defeated. The rest surrendered.
All right. Holy tears. Where can I find more info about this free cons event? Okay, yeah, so if you use your free Twitch Prime sub on the zy0x live stream, you actually get a free constellation. That's not true. That's actually not true. But you will get it whether or not you sub. So it's not even a lie to say you get it if you sub, because you get it if you do, but also if you don't. He's right. True. He's right. He's not even lying. Dude, I actually agree. I think you should be able, I know this is going to sound like a whale take, but maybe it should be like a separate event. Because I'm not complaining about 5-star cons, but I think you should be able to choose 4-star cons. Like one. Because, dude, 5 stars are hard, but 4 stars are harder, man. Like, Especially if you want like Farazan, Chev. Okay, obviously a 5-star con is better. Don't get me wrong. But like, I would appreciate an event where you can choose a 4-star con. Like there's some that are so good but so hard to get. Even like Yansan, Aurora on C6 is decent. Fischl if you don't have it. Bennett if you don't have it. Shangling if you don't have it. Singcho if you don't have it.
He's right.
I guess that's what like the Lantern Rite is, kind of. Although that's just a select few, but you know. Oh, I have to do this. Choose your own 3rd banner. Wait, deal. People are overreacting with the level 100 thing. Unless it also increases talent level cap somehow, it won't significantly shake the meta at all. I mean, he's right. He's not wrong. I don't think it should be in the game, but he's not wrong. But that's just base reaction, not for direct attacks. So for enough of Flynn's, it's not much. It's more significant for Dendro teams. But for most characters, it won't impact how they rank. I think, again, it should not be in the game, or it should be accessible by like grinding, not by pulling. My assessment. However, I also think like, unless they bounce around it, which I know they won't, like, people are just gonna forget it exists, and it's not gonna affect anyone that doesn't activate it. Sorry, the soundtrack makes everything more serious. I don't know how I played it. He's right. UGC looks too good to be true. I'm literally just looking at like, I'm literally just like doom scrolling, but on my second monitor, in case there's something that's like, I can't show on stream. I'll like this tweet. You never know, bro. You never know. Rare case where model looks better than official art. I think they equally look good because I